Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation.
KBN Live is brought to you by Dugout Bait and Tackle. Dugout Bait and Tackle is the premier kayak fishing outfitter in the Southeast. Go to dugoutfishing.com, find everything you need to set yourself up for the 2023 kayak bass fishing season. KBN Live is also brought to you by ProGuide Lithium. Go to ProGuideBatteries.com and find the power you need for everything on your kayak. Also sponsored by Western Sun Vodka. Go to westernsundistillery.com and use the bottle finder to find a retailer near you.
Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome
Back
to
in the
KBN
swing
Live.
of things.
Ryan, I'm back.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, man. I am glad to be back. A couple weeks off. Appreciate you holding it down.
It's about time, dude. I had just clowns in here while you were gone, so thank you for coming back. It was awkward.
You had Jordan Marshall. He came in here and helped you. Then he went and sung the national anthem. He's been all over the place.
I know. He did such a good job, man. I'll tell you, Marshall sang Tyler Childers when we were in Sweden out on the patio one night. It wasn't bad.
Not bad.
If his modeling career falls through, you know, he could probably tour with Addison Johnson or something.
Good stuff. If you guys saw before, as the intro was playing there, we're doing a REVO giveaway tonight, giving away some sunglasses tonight. So all you gotta do is share the stream, and we'll do a secret word later on in the show and give you guys some glasses for your participation. We love y'all getting on here and participating. And Ryan,
Hey,
right off the bat, if I could, I would just like to tell you, thank you for all you've done for us over the last couple of weeks. As you guys know, everybody that's watching, it's been a wild few weeks for the Malott family. It's good to be back on here with my people. Try to have a good time talking about fishing. But, man, I can't say thanks enough to you, Ryan, for getting everything started, and to everybody that's been supporting it and all the comments and messages and prayers and everything. So thanks everybody, and thank you especially, Ryan.
that's what we do, buddy. That's what we do.
Yeah, I needed a few weeks to gain my composure, so I wouldn't start crying on here. I might start doing it anyway, but we're gonna try to keep it together.
You can do it. Stay strong, Pappy.
Yeah.
Stay strong.
Yeah, I want to share a story if I can from my daughter-in-law that she told me, or she told my son, and he told me the day after you started that tournament, man. You kicked that tournament off, and she got on there, and she doesn't know anything about fishing or what that was going to be or how that was going to go. And he showed her the tournament. She clicked the link, and she started scrolling through there. And she started crying in the hospital room, and said, look, on Tourney X, under your name, you've got the state initials, right? So she was scrolling and saw, Michigan, Texas, Tennessee, Ohio, all these different states scrolling by. And she said, none of these people know rowing, and here they're all supporting her. And she just started breaking down. So before I break down, I just want to say thank you to all the people in all the different states, all across Kayak Bass Nation, man, for stepping up.
The nation, baby. That's why it's the nation.
That's why it's the nation. So yeah. Anyway.
All
right. Here we go. We're talking fishing tonight, man. We got a couple big guests.
Hammers. For decades, even.
I
think you could say.
Yeah, if you guys saw the announcement, we got Marty Hughes. He made a post on our group page. He shared it over there from his personal page. That I knew he'd been fishing a long time, but I didn't know he'd been fishing 25 out of a kayak 25 years. And he just kind of gave us a little update post, and I thought it'd be cool to have him on here. So we're gonna talk to Marty about what he's seen change. He's seen it all.
I mean, I didn't know that kayak fishing had been around for 25 years. I thought it was invented like 12 years ago or 10 years ago. That's crazy. Who knew?
He's like Al Gore, invented the internet.
That's correct. This is the Al Gore of kayak fishing. No offense, Marty.
Yeah. No, but Marty, he's been around a long time. I met him back on the old Midwest Kayak Series when I met him in person for the first time. And I know he's been out there doing great things long before that and for a long time to come.
Stays on the road, too. Fishes all over the place. There's no telling where Marty might pop up.
Yeah, I once had a guy tell me that Marty Hughes may have introduced more people to kayak fishing than anybody in history. So we'll ask him about that if that's true.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Yeah. And then we got Josh Counce, man. Josh is a regular on the page. He cuts it up with us over on the page, but he's also a hammer. He handled his business on Seminole, didn't he?
Don't catch him out on Seminole, man. You're in for a bad day if you see his name on the list on Seminole, generally speaking.
And then I saw on the list there, we had a few, Jordan Marshall, David Cottrell, they had good finishes. Did I see Dugout's own Jamie Koza on there?
So Jamie usually talks a massive amount of game going into Seminole. He actually backed it up this time. He did it. He and Tom Kaspersky both cut some checks down there. The Dugout squad kind of ran it down on Seminole.
Yeah. Has he ever fished a kayak tournament? I guess I wasn't aware.
Yeah, he's fished Seminole. He's got his ass kicked down there 3 or 4 times. Like, he'll wear him out pre-fishing, but he put it together on tournament day this time, so hats off to the boss.
Yeah, that's cool. I was shocked when I was scrolling the deal there. I said, wait a minute. That's Dugout, Jamie Koza.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there was huge. I mean, 90 inches was – everybody had 90 inches, it looked like, in that top 10. So they were killing them down there. I'll be curious to talk to Josh about how that went as well.
Oh, yeah.
But I've been kind of out of the loop. What else went down over the weekend besides the tournament?
They had a Super Bowl or something last night.
Yeah.
Part of one.
Was that holding or not? I watched that part.
I mean, was it holding? Yeah, but like you can't decide to call it on the on the biggest play of the game if you didn't call it the entire first 4 quarters. So whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. I had zero preference at all. I read a thing like Philly's like Antifa of football. They're going to burn it if they win, burn it if they lose. So congrats, Philly, on getting to burn something, I guess.
Yeah, they were burning something either way, so it's all the same. And KC got that second title with Mahomes. It feels like he's been in the Super Bowl every year, but this is only the second one. So
it's crazy.
There you go. Kid's legit. He's from Mark Pendergraft's hometown. Did you know that?
Mark is the most bandwagonist fan I have ever seen in my entire life. It's like the 7 circles of Pendergraft. Anybody that's about to win a championship, he has the connection to them, and he's now a fan.
That's right.
Good job, Marky.
6 degrees of Pendergraft or something like that. Then what's coming up? We got the Harris Chain this weekend, right? Hobie kicks off.
Oh, yeah, buddy. I'm excited for that one. The weather looks awesome. Water temp should be in a very nice spot, we should say. And I think you'll see some big bags come out down there. They've had a little break in their tournament beating that they've taken over the last 5 weeks. So hopefully the fish have reset a little bit and ready to eat.
I saw Bailey from Serious Angler was down there. I saw him post a pre-fishing picture.
Boy, he's PKA and ain't he? Dang.
Yeah, he had a big
one. Man was on the water first 5 minutes of pre-fish open.
Yeah, my man had a big one, so I think a lot of big ones will be caught. It should be fun to watch. I obviously won't be making that one, but it should be a fun one to watch. What else we got, man? Sponsor shout out. We already talked about Dugout. Jamie down there killing him with his own gear. He's eating his own cooking.
Pro Guide, we had a fun, what I thought was going to be a funny little tongue-in-cheek post the other day about some guy breaking in his lithium batteries to run his trolling motor. Shout out to Pro Guide. KBN code, save you 10% off. Run that. Jeff, I know you got some on the way, ready to kick your tournament season off. So give them a shout out. Western Sun. Run down to the liquor store and grab you a bottle. Stay warm. Get you through to springtime here. And then obviously we're doing the REVO giveaway tonight, so make sure like and share, get ready for that.
Yeah, we're running about 50-50, half Facebook, half YouTube. If you can't share on YouTube, if you don't have that ability, if you don't have the community tab over there, you can just comment on YouTube where you're from, and then later on both will be eligible for the giveaway. If you're on Facebook, hook us up and give us a share. That'll help as well. So we'll go back and check all that, but we trust you guys. Just like, share, comment, and we'll do that giveaway later with REVO. But
yeah.
What do you say, man? We get old Marty in here?
Let's do it.
Call him old Marty. He's not old.
He's not old.
He's not old.
Sorry,
Marty. Marty Hughes. What's up, man?
I'm old. You guys know that.
Wise. You're wise.
I've been kayak fishing for 79 years. Buddy, you made it. You made it, Marty. That's a pretty. I feel like that's a feather in the cap there.
Yeah. I do want to say, hey, welcome back, Jeff, and like I said, our thoughts and prayers with your family. And hope things get better. And you got the whole nation pulling for you. And
cool. We can feel it. I swear we can feel it. I appreciate that.
And I do want to say for you guys that have wives or girlfriends, had better get your act in gear by tomorrow if you want to fish this year. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Holy smokes!
I gotta go pick up a gift.
I,
I think I
went
figured
out
air
about,
fryer. Air fryer's a good
there
gift. I
you
think,
go.
right?
Vacuum
I went
cleaner.
out. I went out about an hour ago, and there was a line, and it was all guys.
Yeah, of course. No, so that's a real funny caveat to Valentine's Day. Any of you guys getting good gifts on Valentine's Day? This is a kind of a one-sided deal, I think.
Get you some socks.
Yeah, right. More socks. That's what I needed.
Oh, man.
Jamie is in the comments. Where Josh? He's not here yet. Jamie, he'll be here after Marty's segment. So
Is Josh a
keep
dugout
hanging on.
guy? Is he a dugout team guy?
Not yet. He probably will be now. He's about to join up. So Marty, tell us, number one, for the people that don't know the legend of Marty Hughes, tell us where you're from.
Well, I'm just going to say that I live in Nebraska, but I'm from all over the place because I'm a military kid. So I went to 14 different schools before I graduated, 4 different high schools. Came to Nebraska when I was 16, and I've been here ever since. But I've been a teacher, principal, superintendent guy for 40 years and just retired. And so that's where I'm from. I live in southeast Nebraska. I can hear the Chiefs fans still cheering an hour 40 minutes away. So
I like it. And so you started kayak fishing just as a getaway, a hobby? Like what made you think, you know what, I should get in this little piece of plastic? And they weren't what they are then today, obviously. How did you think that was a good idea?
Well, first of all, I was a runner and did all kinds of sports, and my knees, I had 10 knee surgeries. And I was like, I got to do something that's not going to hurt my knees. I tried biking, and I'm like, I was dodging cars all the time, and I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that. And so I actually got on eBay. It wasn't, eBay wasn't very old back then, and it took 10 minutes to load something. But I purchased a kayak on there, and it was like an 8-footer with a hole in it that could fit my waist in it, and my legs could fit up in the front of it. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to paddle and get some exercise that way. And so I took it to a little stream down where I lived. And of course, we were in the first year of a drought, 8-year drought. So that dried up. I went up to the lake called Rock Creek, and I launched it there. And I was out just paddling around. I paddled and by the way, I got to tell you, go back. Before I got in the water, I was really concerned about flipping it. And so I bought a book off of eBay, how to do an Eskimo roll. No kidding. And I bought nose plugs, and I wore them. I always had a picture of it.
I just want to press pause for a minute. Is eBay really that old?
Yeah, eBay was 1995 is when I started using it.
Good
Really?
Lord.
Yeah, and I started using it because I collected baseball, sports cards. And so I was buying and selling sports cards under 1995.
Well, wait a minute. Now, secondly, there's no way 1995 was 25 years ago. There's no way.
No, I didn't.
Wait a minute.
So anyway, then I had a life jacket on, and I went out there, and I was scared to death. And so I hugged the shoreline, and I'd paddle around. And as I got used to it, of course, my feet would fall asleep in this thing. And I was really worried about tipping over, so I kind of practiced like trying to fall out of it and stuff. And it was pretty easy. And so I go up there, and the water's kind of clear where I was at, and so I'm seeing these fish. And I had a boat, at the time, and I go, man, I'm gonna get my rod. And so I go out there with a pole, and I cast, and I catch a little fish, bluegill, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. And that's how it started. And I started catching fish, and then from there, I did it for about 6 years. I never saw anybody else in a kayak. I mean, and I was made fun of. I had a farmer one time downtown. He stops and he goes, "Hey, Marty, them things you got on your trooper there, is that just for show, or do you actually use them?" No one really thought I did it. And so the way it was found out was here's the first publication. That's 2003. Was Nebraska Line magazine. This guy from Nebraska Parks calls all around the superintendents and asks. He had somehow found out there's kayaks out there. Guys are in them, and they were on the coast, of course. And the park guy at our park said, "Yeah, there's some lunatic down there all the time in his." And so he called me and did an interview and did that story, and that's when it just blew up from there. And So that's how it started. That's how I started, and I just love doing it. And then I got my kids involved. By the way, my second kayak I got out of Florida. It was a scuba diving kayak, a Wilderness Systems, and it cost me $1,000. And
Tarpon? Was it a tarpon or what was it?
It was a Wilderness 135.
Okay.
Had a scuba tank rail in the back of it, and then my third one was a Perception Crescent, I believe, or something like that. And so I had 3 kayaks, and then I ended up selling that one, and then I got this, and then the lady that owned Ocean Kayaks, she found me, sent me one of those, and then Tom Strauss that owned Emotion Shakespeare at that time, he called me up and said, "Hey, I'm going to send you some kayaks." So I had these guys sending me kayaks because I was the only guy doing it, in his part. And then of course, this guy was out there one day. He says, "Hey, Marty, hey, can you take me fishing in one of those?" No one had ever asked me that. They're always too scared because they thought they'd flip over.
Yeah.
But this guy's fly fishing, and so I take him out. His name is Chris Farmer, by the way. And I take him out, and he goes, "Oh, he thought it was great and everything." And he goes, "You got to do this for I take other people." I go, "No, I just like doing it." And he gives me this big wad of money. And I'm going, "You don't have to pay me, man. I just like doing it." He goes, "No, you got to do this for a business." And so I go home and I tell my wife, and I show her the big wad of money, and she goes, "It's about time." And and because I was spending money left and right on kayaks, kayaks. And so then my superintendent's the one that named me Kayak Jack. I didn't come up with it. He called me Kayak all the time. And I'm driving down the road, and people are staring at my kayaks all the time, and I'm in the water, and people are talking, and eventually I start this guide business, and it just blew up there too. And the word got out, and people would drive from all over the place to Southwest Nebraska in the middle of nowhere to go fishing with me. And I figured out I've done over 3,500 trips.
And you're a numbers guy. You're a person that keeps track of things, Marty. Is one thing that I have learned about you. Tell people about your fish tracking throughout the year, which is always interesting to keep up with.
I just posted a new page today. It's called Fishing for 2023. And so I'm trying to catch the year in fish. And it started with an outrageous goal with my kids. And CJ wanted to make 75,000 shots in summer with someone at 400 miles. And I wanted to catch the year in fish. Well, I failed miserably, and they got their goal. And so I failed again the second year. Third year, I get it. And so I thought, I'm going to keep doing this. So this is my 11th year doing this. And now I've got other guys doing it. It's kind of fun, But I keep track of fish, and it's kind of good because I don't want to get dementia. So I thought, well, it's just a
little mind exercise.
If you do get dementia, you might think you hit your target early, and then you'll just be all right. It'll save you some time.
Yeah.
Save you a little bit of time.
Then he'll actually retire.
Yeah. Have you ever missed your mark on that? You always hit it.
No, I failed. I failed 3 times. Here, I got it. I didn't get it in 13 or 14 or 2018, but I made it every other year since then.
Solid.
And my best year was 2,800.
Oh, so you don't just quit after you hit the number; you keep on trying.
No, I keep going. One year though, I needed 41 on December 31st, and so a friend of mine helped me. Ken helped me, and we went out and drilled some holes, and I caught 41 green sunfish on December 31st.
Oh my gosh,
that's dedication now.
Yeah, and
that's wild.
So yeah, I'm in a stats. You guys know that, but I was a runner, and so I kept track of my miles and all that. But I love stats, so it's
That's cool. You ought to run that thing like tax season. You can count back for your IRA until like April 15th. If you did that, you probably hit it every year if you counted back.
Yeah, maybe. You guys probably go, "This guy's a wacko." Well, that's what everybody thought when I started kayak fishing too. Just so you know.
They still think we're all wackos, as a matter of fact, right now.
And I still get the how do you fish out of that thing at every gas station. You still get that.
Oh, by the way, I want to talk about the first tournament. The first tournament was 2004, I believe. We had like 12 people. 2 of them were my kids. And we had a checklist, a little checklist. It had like 9 species on it. And you had a little pencil in a baggie. And if you caught the fish, you'd curl in a circle. And then when we came in, whoever had the most circles colored in won the tournament. And that's how we started the tournaments back then. And we measured them with a tape measure.
So you'll remember this, Marty. Was that the birth of Kayak Wars? Were you ever in that?
Yeah, that was right before that. Yeah. And then we gave away a 6-foot Emotion kayak. for
6
the prize.
foot.
Yeah, a 6-footer.
Was that like as a dare or what?
Actually, my neighbor math teacher won it. We gave away little trophies and stuff, but there was one guy that had a homemade wooden kayak, and there wasn't any kayaks out there. So,
dugout canoe there.
yeah, and then there was a couple that had a canoe, because there just wasn't that many kayaks around.
Wow.
And at that time. So, and then by the way, it started before me. I know, Jim Salmon's out of California. You guys might know him. He's kind of like the godfather of kayak fishing because, he started early 90s, and he was telling me, because I went out with him off La Jolla, because I used to live by La Jolla. And so when I went back for a class reunion, I said, hey, Jim, can I go fishing with you? And so I hired him to take me out. We paddled. Now, all right? No motors, no pedals. We paddled 3 miles out through the waves, out in the ocean, and we were fishing for thresher shark out there. And I got some barracuda that day anyway, but it was all fun. Anyway, he told me that the way it started for him was they would go out on surfboards and they'd fish beyond the waves, and then that's how the sit on top kind of emerged, was from that.
Really?
Yeah. And,
Cool stuff.
And then Dennis Spike up North California, who Dennis and Jim, I don't know if they like each other or what, but they never had anything positive about it. But anyway, Dennis has been running a guide service up there since that time. And that guy's a legend. He's a beast. And then, of course, Jim Salmon's the guy. The way that kayak fishing kind of got out there, too, was Jim was the guy that caught a striped marlin and got towed out to sea and got rescued out there. I don't know how many miles out, but off California.
I didn't know that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I've obviously seen his TV shows and that kind of stuff. I had no idea that he was lost at sea thanks to a marlin.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was I caught a bluegill and got lost in the lake.
Yeah. Wasn't lost, but I made it home late anyway.
Yeah. But no, I would find the most remote locations with my kayak, and go. When my son CJ loved doing it, so we both went out. He's up in the picture behind me there, and we would just go. One year we took a 1,200-mile trip in Nebraska, 7 days. My old trooper, we had 2 kayaks, and we tried to see how many species we could catch. We both caught 15, and 1,200 miles, like I said, and that was kind of an epic journey for us. And so we did that every year. We'd go just fishing somewhere. And then this article, right there, that one is by Larry Porter, Omaha World Herald. He did a whole page. That was in 2004 when he did an article on kayak fishing and what I was, so we caught some walleye that day at this one lake. But anyway, that's how it kind of started,
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of changes, man. Seen a lot of changes.
That was my next thing is, how things have changed since then. And this is a broad question, but what is the biggest change you've seen from then to now? Things are night and day different from tournaments perspective, equipment perspective, everything.
The biggest change would probably be the efficiency of the kayaks and how they progress through time. And like, for instance, a chair. Having a real chair in a kayak. When I started, I had butted so bad I couldn't even walk, man, when I got done. You were in water the whole day. And there was a middle plug that you pull, but it'd fill with water. It wouldn't sink, but the whole sink would fill with water. And then the scupper holes came out and people thought you'd sink. And I still have that when I take people guiding. I'm going to sink. There's holes in my kayak. No, you're going to be fine. But I would say the technology, the way that we develop kayaks and the accessories, like I used a snorkel for a transducer on my kayak. Actually, there's on that picture that I posted, if you look real close in that wilderness system, there's a neon green snorkel going over the side. That held my transducer on. So I was ahead of Yak Attack and all these guys way before. And
they stole your patent, Marty.
Yeah, and no pun intended. It's just that we were trying to think of this stuff, and I'm going to be posting a picture of a before and after once I get my kayak out. I just had a picture come up from a long time ago of how I made my kayak. And one of the other changes is sometimes it's like a junior high luncheon with all the drama that happens.
Oh yeah,
really. We haven't noticed over here.
It's all above board over here.
Yeah, that's a different page.
I'm like, hashtag you can't make this stuff up, man. Come on.
That was the now defunct Kayak Bass Series. It's all good now these days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway, there's been a lot of people. I've seen like thousands of people, in this, and I remember doing expos, and the game and parks inviting me, and people were lined up. I mean, quarter mile to go in a kayak and paddle it. Huge crowds to do that. And I remember going to my first show I got invited to. They said, "Hey, we're going to pay you for your booth if you'll come up and bring your kayaks." And people would walk by and stare at me and not even stop.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And then it became interesting. And like I said, there was one year that it just exploded. I don't know what year it was, but it just exploded, and people are coming from far away, And so that's kind of the short version of the whole thing, I guess.
What kayak are you running now? Yep, there you go. You got it.
I have 12 kayaks.
12?
Do you still have any of the originals? Did you keep one of them for like old time's sake?
No, I actually sold them all, but it's cool to see them being resold on the internet.
Oh.
What's the going rate for a 6-footer nowadays?
Those became the kayak caddy, Ryan. Those
okay. Again,
no, they're still around. My old kayaks are still around in Nebraska, but no, I didn't keep any. And I still have one that I've had for a long time. That's the Jackson Kilroy, absolute fastest kayak out there. Paddle.
I really like that platform quite a bit. I like the sit inside kind of hybrid style.
Right. So I've kept that one, and I've got a Crescent Shoaly. I've got 3 Hobies. I've got a bunch of Tamaracks. I take a lot of people out still and guide, and we have rentals, and then I take the kids out here. We have a little kids club that we do, and a little league for them. So yeah, that. And then I have 3. I run 3 vehicles and a trailer and a camper.
Cool. Very, very cool.
So anyway, yeah, it's been fun. And the tournament scene, man. Did you see my map? You can fish over 300 tournaments within 4 hours of where I live this year. And then just 5 years ago, there was 2 or 3.
And let me tell you, Nebraska is an underrated place. There's some cool water up there. When I came up there a few times for that Midwest series, Marty, y'all got some very interesting places to fish. I know it's not giant sprawling reservoirs and everything, but still very cool.
We have a tournament here, though. It's like a merry-go-round.
Yeah.
Just all following each other in a circle in the pond.
Yeah. By the way, this year, man, I'm going all out, man. I'm leaving March 1st, and I told my wife I'll see you when I get back.
That's a retired life, huh?
That's right.
What all are you hitting this year? What's on your agenda, like national trail wise?
Bassmaster. I'm going to try to at least 3, maybe 4 of those. Hobie, at least 3 or 4 of those. And then All American, I'm fishing 7 of those.
Oh wow!
And then of course the local trails here. So I've got over 60 tournaments planned.
Shoot, man.
Take that, Jordan Marshall.
Yeah,
Step it up, son.
You and Marshall should room. You could mentor Marshall a little bit.
Marshall needs some mentoring for sure.
I don't know if I can keep up with him.
You can. You cannot. I'll go ahead and tell you. He's kid's a handful. He's somewhere lost in Florida right now. He went down to Seminole and is somewhere between Seminole and Harris Chain right now currently.
Wow.
He actually is in the comments, so he's watching from somewhere, wherever he's at. He's in the comments. So
yeah.
So
anyway, there you go. There's the story, man.
That's awesome.
So I see some other photos that are behind you. Little known fact, you taught Christine Fisher everything she knows about kayak fishing, correct?
You know what? I'll take that credit. I'll take Where is she? She's right there.
Sense of direction.
That was actually a day after we guided, and we went out and put some lines out and was catching those fish left and right like that. And she's a sponge, man. That's why she's so good. She's a sponge. And
that's for sure.
She worked with me and guiding other people for a while there, and took off. And my business dropped dramatically after she left.
They weren't there for me.
Sorry, Marty. So she's awesome, man. She's legendary in the women, for the women and getting in this. And by the way, before Christine even here, we had a gal named Carrie Brown that won 4 titles in a row here in Nebraska over everybody, all the guys, everybody. And she's a legend here.
Do we need to do a 30 for 30 on where she is now?
I think so.
She's somewhere around. She lives right by here somewhere, but she was a hammer. Took over. and won 4 kayaks.
Crazy.
By the way, the real quick, the tournament moved to the eastern part of the state, and it started out as a benefit for Heroes in the Waters, how we developed, and then it grew from there. And then another guy kind of copied what I was doing, which is good. I mean, he made another tournament, RAF, and then it grew from there. And so we had 2 of those series going, and then it just spread out from there. But it's kind of cool to see how it grew. I watched it grow from kind of like Nebraska out, and then from the coast in. And in the South, there's a guy in Texas too doing it. And but there was only a handful of us back then, and I would call these guys and talk to them just to see what they were doing, and so that I could do it, here.
Yeah, I started in 2011,
Mm-hmm.
and there wasn't that many doing it then.
No.
So I can't imagine 2004, 2003.
I mean, imagine it's 2005 or 6. I'm out on a lake and I'm going, wow, another kayak. That's how it was then. And
these days you're like, damn, another kayak.
I know.
Yeah,
70 kayaks at my ramp.
Yeah.
Imagine being a bass boater going from 2005 to now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're multiplying.
Anyway, but hey, thanks for having me on here, you guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're the man. Yeah,
Glad you came on, man. I think it's really cool to hear somebody that has that much perspective on, when it started from literally almost nothing to now, this vast landscape that we see before us, where kayaks are taking over the Bassmaster Classic floor and ICAST. Like it's, the biggest areas in fishing from an industry standpoint are now kind of recognizing what we've done.
Yeah, and by what you guys doing here, that makes it even better too, because it gives us sounding board as well.
Yeah, we take credit for the growth. That's what we do.
Hey, by the way, I have a shirt. I was going to have my son grab it. We had Nebraska Kayak Nation way back then too.
What?
Are you telling me we stole?
Jeff,
I'll take a photo and post it.
That's our next step. We're gonna have state chapters of KBN.
I actually was going to start selling. I said, it'd be cool if we had these for each state. And I only made Nebraska
1%ers.
one. Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah.
Marty's a 1%er for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Marty, you're the man. We need to have you back on again and have a Nico Rig special, because I want to talk to you about that too.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we can do it. Hey, I want to win a tournament so I can get on here. How about that?
That'll work. That'll work. Guaranteed invite. Well, Marty, we're gonna let you slide out of here. We got Josh waiting. Thanks again.
Right.
We appreciate it, Marty. Take care.
You betcha, man. Thanks.
There you go. What an awesome
That's
story.
nuts. That's nuts.
Marty's the man.
I mean, one of the founding fathers. I feel like you could go ahead and give him that title.
And still straight up killing it. I mean, my man's always in contention. You see him on the leaderboards all the time, and he probably will be more now that he's retired and out there.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody that can actually fish that has all the free time in the world.
Yeah. Go get it. Go get him, Marty. All right, so we got Josh. He's been patiently waiting. Let's get him in here. Speaking of people that can catch him.
Hey,
Oh!
there he is.
Can you hear me well? Good.
Good.
We can
Perfect.
hear. I mean, you sound better than you look. I'll give you that.
Well, I was trying to use AirPods and I couldn't get them to connect to the computer, so whatever. I hope I cross paths with Marty. I need to meet him. I haven't ever met him, but very interesting.
He comes down. I've seen him at Caddo. I think the last time I fished Caddo, he was down there. But
I didn't see him because I didn't fish Caddo.
Are you gonna fish Caddo this
Probably
year?
not. I don't know. I might.
You're not that far from it.
No, it's not far. It's just I was trying not to stretch myself too far this year. But
You fishing on credit now, man. You cashed
Too
a
late.
big
You're on a
check.
roll, buddy.
Yeah.
You cashed a check. You're fishing on credit for a while, so you're good.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Jamie cashed a check too. So he doesn't need your money. So go to Dugout Bait and Tackle and he'll hook you up.
So Jamie cashed a check, and Jamie didn't have any. He wasn't in his dugout gear, which I found rather ironic. After I got a lecture at Pickwick about not having.
The only person there, I think. The only person there.
Yeah, it's real sneaky.
You telling me he don't eat his own cooking, Ryan? What's he doing?
No, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where he's shopping at, but it must not be
You
the
have a
dugout.
Tackle Warehouse hat on or something?
Yeah. Oh no, it could happen. Well, tell us how Seminole, number one, how it was setting up. I mean, obviously you got quite a bit of experience down there, but did you think that I know you're pretty confident. You mess around down there quite a bit. Did you think you had this one,
No.
pretty well wrapped up?
I didn't know. I hadn't been able to fish for, I guess, Florida Bass Nation fished down there like 4 weeks ago. And I finished second in that one, but I haven't fished Seminole since then. I just hadn't had a chance to. So
Well, I finished second in that one, so I didn't know if I was going to win it, but
Left them
that
there.
was the deal. I just kind of went to where I thought they would probably be, and they were just there. So
yeah.
it just kind of worked out.
How was it setting up? Like what water temps? Like where were the fish moving? I know it hadn't quite warmed up down there yet. Correct?
No, and it was very cold that day, and raining.
Yeah, it looked like y'all had some bad weather.
It was windy and raining all day, and we had some warm days last week, but it cooled off again every weekend. I don't know if you've seen the forecast for Harris Chain, but yeah,
I have. Every time, buddy.
Every time. So I just kind of went to where I thought I could catch them, and then if I had a backup plan, I was just going to go further up the creek, so try to run into them.
So where did you not specifically but where were you targeting the fish, like mentally, as far as where you thought they were going to set up because of the water temp and the weather and kind of that time of year?
Well, since it was like the front, we're still on the front side of the front, so I wasn't too concerned about the weather. I thought they might bite pretty well. But it's just like they seem to be like halfway back. They're like halfway and just waiting to go back into the shallows to spawn. And they're probably this week it's going to warm up again. There'll probably be a lot of fish on bed this week. So
yeah,
it's just they're going to move. They're right there on the edge of it.
So still pre-spawn. Without giving up the total juice, how did you target them? Techniques, etc. to target those fish.
The kind of my idea was it's basically a huge flat. There's pad stems on it, but it's a big, huge area. So the idea was, and I did this like 4 weeks ago too. I just go out there and you just got to work back and forth and find them, And once you find them, they'll be there. You may catch 2 or 3 at one time. You can leave and come back and catch them, but you just exploit the hell out of that spot, And last time. To be able to do that, though, if you don't know exactly where they are, you got to, be confident. You got to throw a bait that you're confident in. So I know I can catch them on a Excalibur XR50 this time of year. I know
gold. That's gold.
So, just go out there and work your way around until you find them. It just so happens the first spot I stopped at, I had a waypoint there, and I threw on. There was fish all over it. So.
Just so happened I knew right where they were.
Last time I fished, I couldn't catch them on a jackhammer. I caught all my fish on the XR50. And then this time I caught them all on a jackhammer and I only caught one on the XR50.
So I remember, and some of the folks fished this tournament as well, but when we had the Hobie Seminole, that first day you went out there and absolutely destroyed. What did you put up that first day?
I think it was 102 and a half.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just
101 and a half. It wasn't quite 102.
For that time, we hadn't seen many big tournaments break 100 inches, and then that happened. We're like, it felt like, and I think several of us had a good first day, but I think I had like 94 inches or 95, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like you can't, if he goes out and does that again tomorrow, it's over with. And
it's so hard to do 2 days in a row.
And then we had that huge cold front.
Very hard.
Oh my God, it got bad. It got bad out there. But that was a jackhammer that you smashed them on then too, correct?
It was. Yeah, you and Shane were talking about that last week, and you said I was flipping. But see, before I had caught several fish in practice flipping.
Yeah.
And then, I just found this one little area, and they were just fish stacked in there. So, they just were piled up. I caught them as fast as I could.
You see, there's a comment from Steve. He said he caught 20 on an XR50, all of them 12 inches and under. So what was Steve doing wrong, Josh? What was Steve doing wrong?
I don't know. He just wasn't
being Steve, buddy. I've known him for years.
Yeah,
Always on them shorties.
No, he's either catching a million short fish, or he's. I had one the size of that truck window jump wrapped up under my kayak.
Hey, I had 2 giants. I lost 2 very big fish on Saturday. Both of them easily over 8 pounds. One of them maybe 10.
What'd you lose those on?
On a jackhammer. And Jamie was giving me a hard time because he said it was my rod. But
that's exactly what I was about to say. Tell him to give you IMX Pro, and we can solve that problem right now.
You throw a chatterbait specific rod, or are you just throwing on?
No, I don't. No, you live there. I think I throw a Dobbins 704 or something like that. So. you know, Dobbins have a lot of soft tip. I'm not sponsored by Dobbins over there. They have a little bit softer tip for their heavy rods than some of the others do, especially their frog rods. You know.
Yeah. Not a
Tell
bad
me about
choice,
this,
though.
man. Steve mentioned the XR50. You did too. That's obviously one of those baits that, non-production baits.
Yeah.
From back in the day.
I
Yeah.
lost one the other day.
That are still gold. Why is that thing still catching? Why is it special?
I don't know, really, because I don't like to throw those in actual tournament. I won't throw them in practice. So I throw the booyah in practice, and I seem to catch them just the same as it. But
Really?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't,
you're gonna mess up the black market if you say that.
Well, the
I
real
wonder-
question is why would you have a bait that's that good and that successful and it's not still in production, period?
I don't know. But
That's
see,
the confusing part to me.
Excalibur made several baits at one time, and they rebranded, and Booyah started making them under their brand. So they're all Pradco companies, so it didn't really
That's
matter.
crazy, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask my buddy Brian Malone. He's a Pradco VP. I'm gonna find out what it'll take to bring back the XR50.
They had I forget what the other one. There was another bait that was really good. That was Excalibur bait too.
A couple of their jerk baits and square bills that I still have are really good.
Yeah.
But
I never liked their square bills. I never caught many on their square bills.
I'm up here on this clear water, man. Those silent square bills were killers up here on this clear water.
Well, I catch a lot of fish on square bills, just not that one. So I don't understand that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Are those worth money?
I don't know. I never try to sell any of them. I just leave them in a box and use them every once in a while.
Ask Steve-O. He's the bait hustler now. That dude's got a house full of junk.
$50 a piece or something.
Yeah, I think Josh Evans travels the country just selling a handful of those every year. He's got like a tub of them.
He's another one that'll flip baits all day long.
Yeah. I just throw them in a big, huge Rubbermaid tote when I get tired of them and end up with a huge pile of stuff. So
were you watching the leaderboard at all during the tournament, or were you just fishing?
I turned the leaderboard on with an hour to go, and I was like, whoa, I'm only winning by half an inch or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, did you think Tom may be able to bust a 20 and catch you there?
Absolutely. But I mean, there was like several people up there could have caught pretty quick. Seminole, you can change your luck at any second. You make one throw and catch a 10-pounder. So it's just crazy.
I'm excited. So I want to ask a little futures question here. So we're going back to Seminole in April for the big tournament. How's that going to set up in April? Because most of us, I haven't at least, fished it this late in the year. It's usually one of the earlier tournaments on the schedule. So what's it going to be like with warmer weather and everything kind of starting to green up, and how's that going to fish differently?
It's definitely going to be greened up because there's a lot of milfoil right now. It's already green. It didn't die back, and it's going to come back quick. But I think it's going to be anybody can catch them on anything probably.
You think it'll be a big bag tournament?
Probably so.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a shootout. Everybody will probably be hammering because everybody will probably be catching them. So that's kind of in the wheelhouse of kayak fishing. It's like stuff. There's going to be so much vegetation, so much everything to fish, and the fish they're going to be ready to bite because they're going to be coming off spawn. But it's going to be lights out. That's
almost any kayak tournament in April, isn't it? They're always
hard
numbers
to beat April. It's hard to beat April anywhere.
Yeah, and then it gets hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah. June reminds you real quick how great April was.
Well, it's May here. I swear on April, the last day of April, it'll be 75 degrees, and the next day it's 90. And it's 90 and 70 for the high and low for the next 6 months.
You could still catch them decent on the Tennessee River in May, but, buddy, when June hits, it gets real sad real quick, it feels like.
And you go carp hunting.
Yeah. well, that's only Kentucky Lake. So.
I'm excited going back there.
Are you?
I am. I like Kentucky Lake. I don't like Kentucky Lake so much as I like Barkley.
When's the last time you've been?
Oh, I went. The last time the Hobie fished there, I fished. No, I didn't. I caught them, but I didn't catch any big ones. Anything to do anything. But
be ready.
I fished Kentucky Lake the first day in practice, and I was like, I'm out of here. I left. I went to the stuff I knew on Barkley. I fished Barkley.
I mean, I at some point, I think it has to hit an upswing because the last 4 years really every year has gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. So I'm hoping at some point they turn around. But we just fished our state championship there in the fall, and it was painful. It was rough, real rough.
I hope that they get a handle on that and kind of figure out what caused it to decline so badly. You know, most of the people assume it's the carp, and it probably is. But I hope they understand what's going on so that same thing doesn't happen to like Pickwick, because Pickwick's outrageous right now. So, and it's
Right. Yeah.
They don't want that whatever is bad to spread. So,
outside of Seminole, what other lakes do you really enjoy fishing kayak wise down in that neck of the woods?
I like to fish a lot of the smaller lakes. So Lake Jackson, which is down right now, is like the bottom fell out of it, which is really good, especially at night. You can go there and freaking kill them. And then Otter Lake down on the coast. I do a little saltwater fishing, fish on the rivers. I fish the Ocklackney River by the house, and just fish around. You know, a lot of small places around here. I like
small places with big old fish.
Big old fish, yeah, and there's like no boat pressure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice. Like
Miss Jean, she pokes around a few of them areas down there. And for those of you that don't know Mama Jean, she's the lady when you see like the Florida trophy catch.
Yeah, she's awesome.
With like a 26-inch bass hanging off the board in a Jackson. That's her, because she spends a lot of time out on those little waters in that neck of the woods.
Yeah. And just, if you don't follow her on Instagram, you should. She posts really good pictures of interesting things, stuff like that. Yeah, Jean's cool.
She's a good one.
Yeah, she is definitely. Yep.
So, Josh, we already talked a little bit about Seminole in April. You know, Seminole's been the kickoff tournament for Hobie. What was it, 2 or 3 years in a row, Ryan? They kicked off the season down there in like
2 years in a row, wasn't it?
2 years in a row. Sell some folks from west of the Mississippi on why they should make that trip down there in April to check it out.
Well, probably because they could catch them on a buzzbait all day long.
That's enough.
The whole time they're there.
All right. Okay, then.
No, it's going to be like, buzzbait, spinnerbait, speed worm, swim jig.
Speed worm.
And then if you
David Cottrell, speed worm?
Speed worm?
Yeah, you can start flipping and then probably catch them that way too. So, I mean, they're going to be fighting.
Bring whatever you want then, pick your favorite and just go out there and do it all day.
I think so. Yep. Yeah,
there's some big lizards down there on Seminole too for a lot of these people that are
not as big as you follow. I don't think. Gosh,
I think it's because they're not allowed to do anything with them on half the lake in Eufaula, so they just sit there and get huge.
Yeah, they got some big ones. There's some big ones on Seminole and Lake Talquin, which is right here by the house. We fished Sunday, and Steve didn't catch fish there either, but I think he went on.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, so
his board says 0. It is on the leaderboard, and mine's only wasn't much more. So,
that's how you become a tournament director. If I have another year like I had last year, I'm probably going to become a tournament director myself. So
yeah, he's done good though. It's pretty good accomplishment is what he's got going on now.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited to see the season and kind of the turnaround for bass and them get the momentum going right in the right direction.
I think so. Yeah. I like Steve. Steve's a good dude, and I like to see where he left his job the other day, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
I commented on that post like aggravated. I was like, you quit? We didn't talk about that. Now, dang.
Yeah.
He's running the Georgia Bass Nation and the Tennessee Bass Nation, right? Or him and Daniel.
He's running the whole nation, son.
Well, I know that. I'm talking about state for the states.
All 50 states. Steve's running everything. If you have any questions about anything.
That's why that's the part getting him to do that, because I mean everybody knows him and he's a good dude, and it's just good.
There was a guy on this very podcast a couple of years ago that told John Stewart that was the move to make, and they didn't. So here we are. Premonition.
I wanted to talk about the Tennessee and Georgia because they're obviously doing it right, and I know Steve's not going to be as hands-on, obviously, because he's going national and running the whole shebang, but. You guys have a solid state Bass Nation trail or series, whatever you want to call it. Other states have struggled to get one going at all. Some others are kind of floundering a little bit. I know Florida's doing pretty good too, but what do you think what do you think the key is to getting all the states to get on board and run these deals?
I've talked to Steve about this. I think honestly, and I hope that this goes through, they need to have Steve run the entire kayak side of Bass and Bass Nation. So instead of having these individual Bass presidents or whatever in each state, just let the kayak side be its own, unified division. He can bust up the states and let, one person be over each state. I'm not saying he should run all of them, but he needs to be over that kayak organization itself. And that way there's not all these discrepancies, back and forth on everything. I think that's one of the big issues with the, multiple states. Everybody has their own rules. Some of the clubs, like the Bass Nation boat clubs, want to take fees from the kayak guys and use that toward their own deal. Like, I think you just have to separate the two.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Florida seems well,
Yeah, we don't have one here in Arkansas yet. I don't think there's one in Texas. So there's some states with a really, really good kayak fishing base that don't have a solid Bass Nation State Series yet. So I'd like to see it happen.
I think it will. And I think as you look at like Tennessee and Georgia and Florida, and I think North Carolina, I think they've got one going there too. Pennsylvania, I know, has one. Once you start seeing these other people do it successfully, I think it's going to make other people more confident in stepping out and trying to start one in their own state, because it's a great middle of the road. It's not, as low entry as grassroots, but it's also much better payout. So I think it's a good stepping stone to get people comfortable, moving up in the higher entries and higher payouts.
Yeah, Josh Massey's this YouTube comment. This has been a problem with some of the organizations I know, and this is what you're talking about, Ryan. Why Steve needs to just kind of take it all. Yep. You're paying dues to the bass boat folks for the state Bass Nation, and then the kayak guys are, left holding the bag, don't see any of it back. So I can see how that'd be a problem for sure.
Yeah.
So are you an up and coming TikTok star? That was one of the questions, Josh.
It's my buddy Van from back home. He's a good dude.
Okay. Yeah. So he's aware that you are?
He is.
What's your TikTok handle? Are you like a Mark Coates TikToker, or are you like a fisherman TikToker?
No, I just kind of do like the women. I like to do the yoga where they're like, whatever. No.
Oh my gosh! Is this TikTok? This is OnlyFans.
Be right back. Let me go look it up, Ryan. Find me some.
It's weird.
Yeah, no, that's good. Somebody over on YouTube, MRKS Pa said, met Josh at the ramp Saturday. Nice guy. Even gave you a bit of info about the lake. Look at that. Giving up the juice.
Yeah. It's hard to hide anything these days. Everybody's so good. They'll just find it if you don't take advantage of it immediately. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Any questions for Joshua we have him about Seminole or anything else he's got going this year? Drop them in the comments. We'll get him in front of those questions for you. Yeah, man, impressive start to the year. What's up next for you?
Well, I'm going to Harris Chain. Probably leave Wednesday night. I'll probably leave after work Wednesday night and head down.
We've got the hot tub heated at the house in Claremont if you need to come over and take a soak. We're going to have about 6 oversized grown men in a hot tub together, so it should be pretty sweet. May pour some Jell-O in, see how it goes.
Down in the free state of Florida.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going to get down there and breathe some freedom. Taking every gun I got. We're going to fire them off in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Josh, how does that set up for you down there? Does that fish any similar to anything you're used to up there in South Georgia? No, not at all?
Not really, no.
I'm pretty sure they eat jackhammers down there. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I kind of like fishing those lakes down there. I've been to Harris Chain before a couple of times. I've caught them, but I haven't really done that well. But, I just kind of, open water and grass, it's Florida. So
yeah,
it's more Florida than up here, I think. That's the typical like prairie lakes down there. So.
I think it's going to be good. Like I said, I mean, I think weather-wise, it's setting up to be pretty decent. I hope we're not going to catch a freezing spell, but it looks like it's going to be decent.
Yeah, it should be nice.
Are you fishing the Bass Championship on Chickamauga here in a few weeks or a month or so?
No, I didn't qualify for it last year. I qualified for the Georgia Bass Nation state thing, but it was at Seminole too in October. But I had a work thing come up and I couldn't fish. I paid my entry fee and everything. I just couldn't go. So yeah, that's pretty terrible. So I didn't.
Are you any good on Chickamauga? If so, call me afterwards. We'll talk here in a little bit. No.
I caught them okay when we were there last year, but that was a lot later.
I can give you any of my spots that I hadn't already give away before I thought that I wasn't going to get to fish it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Now I got to go find some other spots.
I saw your post before the tournament, and then yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's how it goes, big dog. I'm gonna try to get some redemption. I caught me a roll down last week for this Bass Championship, so I'm gonna try to get a little bit of redemption there at the end of March. We'll see what the weather does.
Yeah,
cool.
well, you get to stay at home, so it takes a lot of pressure off. You're not traveling.
Well, you say that. I always pick like the ramp that's 2 hours from me, wherever I'm at. It doesn't matter what lake I'm on. I'll pick the opposite end because for some reason I think that's where the fish are going to be, far away from me.
They're always way over there. That's the deal.
Exactly.
They're always
Every
over
time.
there.
Yeah.
Always over there. Oh, I meant to share this earlier, the payout chart from the chart. So, Ryan, you mentioned it. Payouts for these Bass Nation state deals are much better than your grassroots. Look at there.
That's good.
1857 at first. That's real good.
Yeah, it's
For
real
a one
good.
day event
Yeah.
right there close to home.
Yeah, that was real good. And the Peach State they ran it concurrently, so I won Peach State too, and they pay well, and they're a good group of guys.
How much did you take home total off this little gig?
Well, what was that? $2,800 and $2,900.
That ain't bad. Not a bad little Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had not caught them, it would have been bad. It was a crappy day.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like you did have to work for them just to set out there and put up with that mess.
Yes. My shoulders are sore from like hunching over my rain suit because the rain was just pouring off my head. So yeah.
Oh man.
Did you guys see the post on Peach State about Marshall?
No.
Oh.
What did he do now?
I have to show you, so hang on.
Oh,
He was going to fish Talcon on Sunday with Florida Bass Nation too, and he didn't do it. So.
Oh, no.
He said, "Get you somebody that looks at the." Anyway, I'm not going to read
No,
it.
Boy.
Jordan likes Matt.
Man.
Peach
I mean, he
State,
gets like
respect.
that sometimes. We met a lovely European man over there in Sweden. It was a very similar experience.
Yeah,
Nice.
respect Peach State
I
for
would like to
capturing
do
that
that.
moment.
I want to do that. I always figured if I qualified for Hobie Worlds, it'd be in like Old Hickory or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was afraid of because, all that COVID stuff, they pushed it off and
Yeah.
pushed it off. I was like, if this is in the United States, I'm going to be pissed. It's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Awful. I'm hoping Steve Fields announces where Hobie Worlds is this year. I keep saving up money and off time to buy a ticket, but
I thought it was in Alaska.
Well, no, that's the TOC.
Oh, okay.
Another event I won't see.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
We'll be up there. Our drives will be caught in Chinese weather balloons by the time we get up there.
I don't know about that.
On the bright side, Ryan, the EMPs won't hurt our kayaks except for the.
That's true. That's
depth
very
finder,
true.
so
Well, my live scope will be out, which I haven't turned it on. So
Yeah,
That'll
it'll
help.
be all right. Oh man, yeah. Josh, man, congrats on winning the event. Congrats on starting the season good, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah.
I'll see you at Harris Chain, buddy. Be careful getting down there.
All right, man. I will. Hey, Jeff. I signed up for the tournament, and I forgot to write my identifier on. I probably have with practice. I would practice, and then Saturday I would have like 102 inches. But either way, donating money, and a lot of people donated, and that's great. Maybe
Yeah,
more
man.
will, whatever.
I
We
appreciate
got more
it, man.
stuff coming. I'll tell you that. We're going to do a live auction. We got some other events in play that I'm going to discuss later tonight with some folks. So we're just getting started with this deal.
Good. Yeah,
All right,
great.
buddy. We're gonna let you slide out of here. We're gonna do the REVO giveaway, and then we'll wrap this thing up tonight.
All right.
Appreciate you, Josh.
Take it easy,
Yeah.
Josh. Congrats
Take care.
again, man.
Josh Counce, everybody.
He's hilarious. I like
He's
him.
a
He's
great
good
dude. Hilarious. I love how he mixes it up on the page too. He's funny. He's
Oh,
funny
yeah.
as can be on the page. So always good to see stuff like that. All right, man. We need a word, Ryan. Can you give me a word? EMP.
No. Let's do speedworm.
Speedworm. We get it queued up here.
We count off for spelling.
All right, everyone. So we're doing a REVO giveaway. YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Doesn't matter which one you're on. So to win, you have to enter. Let me type this real quick. You have to enter the word #speedworm in the comments. Put it on the screen for you for those that can't spell.
I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. We should have done Gazer in honor of Marshall, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe next time. I'm sure he'll find another young man to stare at while we're down there.
Yeah, and Josh mentioned the tournament. I'll once again echo my thanks for everyone that signed up for that thing, and everyone that's praying for the REVO and all the kind words and messages out there. Amazing. So thank you guys again for that. And you got some of you guys are catching some impressive fish. Some big limits up over there.
Oh, there's some numbers getting thrown up on that one.
Yeah. You guys are amazing.
Jeff Sherwood went to Ivy trying to circumvent the whole deal there and put up 98 inches. Come on, Sherwood.
Over scoping up giants.
That's like one fish at Ivy, isn't it? 98 inches?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
That's what I thought.
Responses are flying in. Somebody added Junebug Red. Jean Wilson, she's watching. She added Junebug.
Uh-oh. She's giving hints. She's giving a little Florida juice away there.
Yeah. We got 28. We've got 80 people watching, only 30 entries. So we'll give this a little bit, a little bit more time here. Hey, Ryan, look into my background right there. Right there. See that map of Arkansas right there?
I do.
I was on the Wendell Fishing Podcast over on YouTube. Wendell, he's a relatively new YouTuber, but he's done really, really well, really, really fast. One of his sponsors, US rivermaps.com, gave me that map of Arkansas. It's a hydrological map, all the rivers in Arkansas and how they feed, and they do them for every state. So I told him, for give me that map, I'd shout him out. So US River Maps.
If there was ever a map I didn't want to see, it would be Arkansas waterways.
Hey, we've got some of the most scenic, beautiful rivers in the United States, Ryan. You hush your mouth.
Mark Soneros is posting big worm instead of speed worm, so that's fair.
Yeah, there you go. We got 41 entries. Looks like you're gonna have some good odds tonight. Johnny Maddox, I swear, don't put your name in there.
He said he wasn't. He said he wasn't going to enter tonight. He said he wasn't.
Yeah. So Johnny, he's
got a whole collection of
part-time income running over here on KBN giveaways. Now that's cool.
He's trading them for Excalibur rattle traps. If you know anybody.
All right, what do you think, Ryan? Giveaway time?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Only 45, but we're going to do it anyway. Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Rick Valadez on Facebook.
You almost went in on it.
Velez.
Yeah. You almost had it Valdez'd out there.
I hadn't slept, Ryan. Give me some slack.
That's fair.
Rick Valadez, you're the winner on Facebook. Send us a message. I'll get you your code, man. Good stuff. Oh, I can draw again? You have the option to draw again?
What?
Look at that. We won't do that. We won't do that, but I could draw again. How about that? There we go. Congrats, Rick.
Good
show,
job,
man.
You're going to love them. Again, if you hate them, don't call us.
Yeah, don't call us. They have a nice return policy.
Oh, all right. Take care, Jeff. Keep us posted. Again, everybody, keep Jeff and his family in your thoughts and prayers over the next few days, especially here. And we will keep you posted on the next moves. Thanks, everybody, for the support with all this.
You got it. Love y'all. We out.
See you, player.